All right, Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to my elder apostles, to my elder bishops, and to my elder teachers of Great Millstone that rule well, which taught me this truth, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And also peace, love, blessings, and salutations unto the elect. Shalom to the very few sisters, the Akwaf that listen and follow this truth and sincerity. Shalom to you sisters, to you Akwaf. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners. Shalom to the hopeful elect, all the true believers. All right, Shalom. May Yahweh Basham Shai continue to bless you all and your households as well. And, especially in the times that we're living in, ultimately coming into these evil times, man, these evil days. And we're going to need the protection of Yahweh Basham Shai. And, of course, it starts with fear, right? Fearing the Lord, which that's what the 2/3 of Israel, that's what they lack. They lack the fear of Yahweh Basham Shai, right? And also, as I said, it comes with fearing the Lord and having faith in the Lord and just truly believing and ultimately just enduring into the end, man. And that's how we're going to make it up out of this thing, man, but this is just going to be a quick lesson through the Spirit. Ultimately, I just want to go into the times that we're in. We're living in some very important times, some very serious times. And ultimately, we're in the time of these prophecies of the Lord being fulfilled, man. Right? Like it says in Habakkuk, right? We're waiting for that appointed time. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision, right? The prophecies is yet for an appointed time. But at the end, it shall speak, right? The end of Esau, Edom's rulership. Right, we're at the end of we're at the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled. Right, the end of any other heathen or non-Israelite nation. We're at the end of the heathen ever ruling again, because the Lord allowed all the heathen to at one point in time be in power. Right, they all had their share of power. Right now, Esau is the last one of the heathen, right? The basis of all men. Esau is the last of the heathen to rule, and he's at the end of his rulership, man, right? And that's why you're seeing these prophecies speaking and getting ready to come to pass, okay? So it says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So these prophecies, man, they ain't tarrying no more, man. Right? They're speaking loud and clear. And the only ones who's going to pay attention to that is the elect. Well, the hopeful elect, right? And, we all pray, speaking about the true believers, we all pray that we're of the very elect, okay? Lord willing, I'm of that number. All you sincere IQ, right? That's pushing this truth. We all hope and pray that we're of the 144,000, right? And for you sisters, because the scriptures speak about the elect lady, right? Ultimately, pray that you're of that large multitude, man. Okay? Because, of course, the 144,000, that's all men. Okay? But to you women, to you sisters out there, pray that you're of that large multitude, man. Okay? Now, I want to read 2nd Esdras 3, and I want to start at verse 4, and I'm going to read down, okay? So it says, O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life. And ultimately it's speaking about Adam receiving this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, because just like all of us before before we had the true knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai, we're pretty much in a dead state. Now, Adam, he was the first man to receive the truth, okay? Because it's a misconception amongst Babylon and the world that Adam was the first man to walk the earth, and Adam and Eve, they were the first two people to walk the earth, but at the end of the day, the Lord already had multitudes of people, right? Called the Adamites, which you can go and look into it. But ultimately, Adam was the first to receive this truth. Okay, and Adam was a king on the earth. Okay, so the Lord ultimately gave him this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, just like us. Okay, with us coming out of hardcore chattel slavery, where the Lord pretty much beat our heritage out of us, right? The Northern Kingdom getting trampled down by Esau and shipped off on ships to South and Central America, pretty much having, the same thing happen, losing our heritage, losing our way of righteousness. Ultimately, the Lord gave it back. Okay, and now that's why you're seeing men calling themselves Israelites and going out on the highways and byways and teaching and prophesying. Even with our women, they're coming back to knowing who they are, and they're believing. Okay, so this is all biblical prophecy, and it's all leading to that ultimate, the climax of the Lord's movie, as far as him, Yahweh Shai returning with the host of angels, physically taking down Esau, right? The elect getting beamed up, right? This is that great time we're in. But before that, the time of Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose. So this is the time that we're in right now. Okay. It says, and thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way. See, which he transgressed. Okay, going back to the garden, Eve being beguiled by the serpent, ultimately partaking in that forbidden fruit, ultimately having the knowledge of the heathen and following the ways of the heathen. She went back and pretty much took that mindset back to Adam, which he got weak and pretty much simped out and started following the ways of the heathen as she did. And that's what led to our downfall. But it's all biblical prophecy. It was all set up to happen that way anyways. Okay. It says, and unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him and in his generations. This is why we're under the curses, man. Okay. Of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. So yeah, everyone came out of Adam, but even the chosen, like it says in 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, around the 54th verse, I believe. Let me see. Let me get that real quick. 2nd Esdras 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. As I said, Adam was a king on the earth, which Adam ultimately was Yahweh Shai. Okay, Yahweh Shai was Adam. He was Isaac. He was Melchizedek. Of course, he was King Solomon. All right. For those who can understand reincarnation. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. See, so every people, everybody, every different nationality of people, both Israelites and non-Israelites came out of Adam, right? That's being established right here in this precept, in this verse. It says, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So the Lord has a chosen people, which are the Israelites. Who did the Lord give his laws, his statutes, and commandments to? Who did he make a covenant with? The children of Israel. Okay. And a part of the curses as well is us, Israelites. We also have been scattered amongst the other nations. Okay, going into the Israelite foreigners. But ultimately, it's a bloodline thing, man. Your bloodline has to go back to being an Israelite in order for you to be delivered, man. And in order for you to be great in the kingdom. Okay. Because even the 2/3, right, they're going to be greater than the heathen. right? They're not going to be great as far as the elect, but they're going to be over the heathen. They're going to be great towards being over the heathen. Okay, so you got to be an Israelite. Your bloodline has to go back to being a Hebrew Israelite. And Romans 8 and verse 16 goes into how our spirit beareth witness that we are the children of Israel. That's how we know that we're Israelites. For the gainsayers out there who will say, well, how is it that y'all know that y'all Israelites? Well, our spirit bears witness with this truth. Okay, it's a spiritual thing, because ain't no heathen gonna truly believe in this word, man. Okay, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which thou also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, speaking about the heathen nations. Even so, the Lord still allowed these heathen nations to have a particular rulership. Okay, but what I'm going into is we're at the end of all of that, man. The end of these heathen ever ruling again, and we're about to come into power. Like it says in verse 55, the Lord made the world for our sakes, man. Right, the children of Israel, and all of that is about to come into fruition. It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle. So these heathen are worthless. Well, I ain't gonna say worthless because they're gonna be our servants, right? But ultimately, they're nothing at the end of the day. And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the Lord ain't worried about the nations, man. Okay, he's only worried about the children of Israel, the Israelites. Let's go back to 2 Esdras 3 and verse 7. Yeah, 2 Esdras 3 and 7. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed. And immediately thou appointest death in him and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will. So this is the point that I want to get into. See, the Lord is getting ready to return, but you still got Jake bullshitting, man. Right? Just like during the time of Noah, which I'm about to get into, that's the same mindset that Jake is in, man. Okay? Verse 8, and every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. And again, in process of time, thou broughtest a flood upon those that dwell in the world, and destroyedest them. As a matter of fact, let me read this first. Let's go to St. Luke, chapter 17. Verse 22, and the subheading says, second coming foretold. The second coming that it's talking about is our Lord Yahweh Shai. See, we're in the time to where our Lord Yahweh Shai is getting ready to return, even though you have a multitude of people that don't believe that. But guess what? Romans 3 and 3 and verse 4, right? Just because they don't believe, that don't mean that the Lord ain't going to come through with the prophecies. 2 Esdras 15 and verse 3 and 4. Right? It goes into how the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So the non-believers and the scoffers, they're going to die in their unbelief and their their non-belief and whatnot. Okay, so we were speaking about this at camp this past Saturday. We're not trying to. We understand that every Israelite ain't going to wake up to this truth. Okay, we understand that when we go out to the highways and byways, we don't have the mindset of trying to wake up all of Israel. And first of all, we're not waking up anybody. It's the Lord that's doing it. He's just using us as vessels, right? But we have the understanding that when we go out to the highways with a mindset of not trying to wake up all of Israel, just for to put it in layman's terms. Right, we understand that only the elect is going to hearken into this truth and truly believe, man. Okay. Luke 17 and 23, and they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them, nor follow them. For as the lightning that lighteneth out of one out of the one part under heaven shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. And if you look at lightning, when it strikes, it's quick. You know, lightning is very quick and sudden. Okay, it can be fucking, broad daylight. You know, some clouds may start to roll in, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a streak of lightning can just strike out of nowhere. Well, that's how Yahweh Shai is going to be. Like it says in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, speaking about how the day of the Lord is going to be as a thief in the night. Ultimately going into Yahweh Shai returning with nobody except the elect expecting the return of Yahweh Shai. Okay, it's going to catch everybody off guard except for the elect. But even with the elect, when Yahweh Shai returns, the elect, they're going to be affrighted to a degree, but then the Spirit's going to kick in, man, because we're not going to know that we're of the elect until we're getting beamed up, man. You know, so, but ultimately what I'm saying is Yahweh Shai is going to return quick and sudden. You know, he's going to appear. Okay, he's going to invade Babylon. He's going to invade the planet Earth, man, with a host of angels, man. You see? So ultimately, the right mindset to be in is to get yourself right. And I speak to myself before I speak to anyone else, man. Okay? Because we all fall short of the glory, but we just got to keep getting back up and repenting and just hope and pray that the Lord has mercy on us, man. You know? Luke 17:24, for as the lightning that lighteneth out of the one part under heaven shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in this day. But first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. Just like how Yahweh Shai was rejected when he was physically on the planet Earth, Yahweh Shai is being rejected again via the prophets, with us going out and preaching the word, preaching on Yahweh Shai. And you have the scoffers that reject this truth. Okay, so the same thing is happening now. And as Yahweh Shai said, that we're not greater than our master. If the world hateth him, then guess what? The world is going to hate us as well. Roughly paraphrasing, man. Yahweh Shai told us that. Okay, but see, like I said, Jake is going to be caught off guard. The same thing that they were doing before the time of the flood, they're doing now. And it's going to go into it. Luke 17:26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So just like now, you got the prophets out there prophesying. And Noah, he prophesied for a period of 120 years, man. Okay. And at the end of the day, once, you know, the Lord started bringing the flood, started bringing the rain, opening up the heavens, opening up the ground, right? Because you had water just coming out of it, you know, coming from everywhere, man. You know, fucking shit up. Okay. Now, as soon as that happened, guess what? The ark was already shut. So fast forward to today, you got the prophets out prophesying. You got the believers and the unbelievers. The believers are going to be safe within that ark, that spiritual ark, man. Because really, the spiritual ark right now will be that covering that Yahweh Shai has upon us, Yahweh Shai has over us, right? Because we're covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. And as I said, Lord willing, I'm of that number. So we're covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai, but ultimately that ark is going to be the fathership, man. You know, us getting beamed up and not being a part of the second death, which is going to be those 200 million nuclear warheads raining down upon Babylon the Great and other parts of the world as well. But as far as those 200 million nuclear warheads hitting, that's going to hit Babylon, the Great America, and this place is going to be laid desolate, man. Okay, but you're going to have missiles that hit other parts of the earth as well. Israel is going to be destroyed, but it's going to be built back up. And see, Babylon is not going to be built back up, man. Okay, there's no healing Babylon. Okay, this is going to be a memorial and an ensign of what happens when you transgress against Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Verse 27, they did eat, they drank, they married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Verse 28, likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built it. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone. And this was a similitude of what's about to happen to Babylon the Great, because this is spiritual Sodom, this is spiritual Egypt, and this is actually worse than all of those kingdoms. This is pretty much all of those wicked kingdoms wrapped up into one wicked ass kingdom known as America, Babylon the Great. All of those wicked kingdoms from the past, pretty much Babylon and America embodies all of those at one time, man. And the wickedness of this place has exceeded any form of wickedness that has ever taken place on the planet Earth. So that's why the destruction is going to be so heavy. Okay, which I'll get into it. It says that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. All right, now I want to go here. 2nd Esdras chapter 3 and verse 8. And every people walked after their own will. The same thing that's going on right now. Okay, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. And again, in process of time, thou broughtest a flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyedest them, you see. And it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, which Noah means comfort. Okay, Noah represents the elect. And ultimately, we're comforted by the Comforter being this word, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, we're coming in the same spirit as Noah. Okay, prophesying, believing, all right, enduring. It says, Noah with his household, of whom came all righteous men, which is proof that the Lord can save you and your household, even if the rest of your household doesn't believe. If the Lord wants to, he can deliver them. And if not, guess what? The Lord is going to give us everything that we lose on this side. The Lord is going to give us 100-fold in the kingdom, man. So it's all good. Verse 12, and it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. And it keeps going on, i.e. leading up to where we're at right now. The most ungodly and the most wicked people walking the planet Earth. All right. Mainly speaking about Israel, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that the Lord gave his laws, statutes, and commandments unto. Right. The other nations, the heathen, they're going to be destroyed anyways. Well, let me say it like this. They're going to go into slavery, captivity, and Esau is going to ultimately be completely destroyed, man, and eradicated, erased from the planet Earth, man. Okay. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him. All right. Promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. So the Lord God promises that he is not going to go back on, man. He's going to keep all of his promises. Okay, regardless of what the world try to tell you, try to break in supersessionism, replacement theology, universalism. The Lord ain't with none of that shit, man. He's only for his people. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, right? So ain't no saving Esau, man. It ain't no saving no motherfucking heathen, man. All right, the Lord is only dealing with his people. The Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you so-called Hispanics, and the Israelite foreigners. Because you got Israelites that look like Edomites and the rest of these nations. But as I said earlier, it's a bloodline thing, man. Okay. And so Jacob became a great multitude. And it came to pass that when thou leddest his seed out of Egypt, thou broughtest them up to Mount Sinai. Well, that's the main point. Okay, but now we're in the spiritual Egypt, a future Egypt, right, where the Lord is getting ready to deliver us once again, and he's going to put us on high, okay, above all the nations, man. All right. But I just wanted to go into that, man, just going into the times that we're in, man. We got to understand the times that we're in, and we got to make sure that we're being on point, because Yahweh Shai is getting ready to return, and he's about to take down Esau and his wicked ass kingdom, and he's about to bring that second death, okay, the nuclear warheads raining down upon America, also the chariots shooting down concentrated energy, lasers, and burning up America, making this place desolate, man. These are the times that we're in, and we want to avoid that, man. We want to avoid that second death, so we got to make sure that we're on point, man. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.